Reborn in 1978. I decided to do 3 things. First, I would take the initiative to apply for the campaign to support the construction of the Northwest. Second, I would no longer foolishly take care of my husband Leonardo's pregnant foster sister Selena. Third, I would divorce Leonardo, cut all ties, and never see him again. When I suddenly stopped making scenes and no longer cared that he defended Selena, Leonardo thought I had learned my lesson after being put in solitary confinement. It wasn't until he was injured on a mission and hospitalized, when he came to me seeking care and I ruthlessly rejected him, that Leonardo finally realized things had completely slipped out of his control. I had already decided, I didn't want him anymore. Chapter 1. Eva, your confinement time is up. You can come out now. Leonardo's guard's voice pulled me out of my daze. I limped out of the detention room, the blinding sunlight forcing my eyes shut. Tears came unbidden while the guard's flat voice carried on. The commander has a meeting today. He asked me to tell you, when you get home, reflect on your mistakes and write a letter of apology. He'll check it after the meeting. I wiped my eyes, said nothing, and walked away. The guard followed, his gaze filled with disdain. As the commander's wife who had long since lost his favor, even the guards looked down on me. In my previous life, I had clung desperately to what wasn't mine, exhausting myself in vain, only to be locked in solitary, scolded by Leonardo's cold voice, despised, and finally abandoned to depression and suicide. We hadn't always been like this. Once, he bought me snacks, took me to the movies, strolled with me hand in hand. We had envied others with our love, until Selena, his pregnant foster sister, came to live with him. From that day forward, I became invisible. He accompanied her to buy baby supplies, took her to every prenatal check, handed her our savings. At first, I thought it was just brotherly concern. I even helped him take care of her. Until one day I found her diary. Leonardo, I love you. I know you love me too. Why can't we be together? I'm afraid I won't be able to keep this a secret much longer. Leonardo, I can't live without you. Chapter 2. It was like being struck by lightning. I confronted Selena, demanded an explanation. She wasn't afraid at all. It's exactly what you read, we love each other. Circumstances keep us apart. I slapped her across the face. She ran to Leonardo, sobbing that I had attacked her. He shoved me so hard I sprained my ankle. Selena was taken to the hospital for pregnancy complications, and Leonardo never came home, he stayed by her side. When I went to see him, she smirked, cradling her belly. I love Leonardo, and he loves me. You're nothing but the cover-up marriage society forced on him. You're just our shield. I demanded Leonardo choose between us. He rubbed his temples, scolding me as narrow-minded, jealous, unreasonable. He insisted he was only helping a homeless pregnant sister. Later, Selena accused me of trying to harm her unborn child. Leonardo believed her, forced me to apologize. I refused. He ordered the guard to lock me in solitary again. In my past life, I endured it, even wrote a humiliating apology just to keep the marriage. I thought compromise would bring peace. I was wrong. Selena stayed after giving birth. I slaved over her confinement month, working by day and serving her by night. No matter what I did, she schemed to provoke me, and Leonardo always took her side. His gaze told me I was nothing but a nuisance. Years of torment broke me. I fell ill with depression, without even realizing it. Later, when I finally conceived, I thought things would change. Instead, Selena framed me again. I lost the baby. When I stumbled past her hospital room, Leonardo was there peeling apples for her, cradling her child as if it were their family. That image drove me to despair. I climbed the rooftop and ended my life. Chapter 3. Now, reborn, I dragged my body toward the home I once shared with Leonardo. Neighbors stared, whispering with contempt. Thanks to Selena, everyone thought I was a cruel woman who couldn't tolerate her husband's pregnant sister. Last life, shame crushed me. This life, having died once, I no longer cared. I swore I would never repeat the same path. I would never apologize to Selena. If Leonardo wanted a divorce, I'd gladly give it to him. I would cut them both out of my life. Opening the courtyard gate, I saw Selena, belly swollen, blocking the doorway. She pinched her nose in mock disgust. Back already? Solitary wasn't so pleasant, was it? Get out of my way. Well, look who's still arrogant. Leonardo said you'll apologize to me, and I can't wait to see it. Her malice showed whenever no outsiders were around. I stared her down. Then keep waiting. I bathed, changed, gathered all my money and ration coupons, and left. As I passed, Selena barked from her chair, I'm hungry. Go buy ribs and vegetables. I ignored her and rode straight to my work unit. There, I submitted a formal application. You want to volunteer for the Northwest construction campaign? My supervisor gasped. That's not a joke, Eva. It's harsh, 5 years at least. Surely Commander Leonardo won't allow it. This is my decision, I said firmly. Leonardo has no right to interfere. In front of the nation, there's no room for selfishness. I've decided, I'll dedicate my life to the motherland. The leader accepted my application, advising me to reconsider with my husband. If I held firm, I'd leave within half a month. Stepping outside, my stomach empty, I exchanged ration coupons for a good meal. Then, strolling down the street, I thought. Applying to the Northwest was my first clear decision since rebirth. From now on, I would never again foolishly cling to Leonardo, or waste my life caring for that shameless woman Selena. The application was in. Next, I would divorce Leonardo. Chapter 4. In my past life, Leonardo had threatened me with divorce just to make me apologize to Selena. I figured today would go the same way, so this time, I'd go along with it, and end things for good. I didn't return home until sunset. The moment I stepped inside, I heard Selena's sobbing. Sister-in-law must hate me so much. She told me to get out the moment she came back. Leonardo, just let me leave. Don't ruin your marriage because of me. She wept dramatically, pretending to leave, while Leonardo rushed to stop her. She leaned right into his arms without restraint. Disgusted by the scene, I slammed the door shut. Both of them turned toward me in shock. Leonardo pushed Selena aside and glared at me. Where were you? Why didn't you cook dinner? Don't be so harsh with her, Selena chimed in, her tone dripping with pretentious sympathy. She's upset. If she didn't cook, it's understandable. Missing a meal won't kill me. Her coquette-like act only darkened Leonardo's expression further. Go cook. I already bought the groceries. Selena wants braised pork and spare ribs, make them both for her. I was about to refuse, until I saw the meat he'd bought. Changing my mind, I went straight to the kitchen. Selena's eyes flashed with resentment at my compliance. Within an hour, I brought out the braised pork and ribs, even serving them their rice. Hungry, they sat down quickly. Leonardo, ever attentive, put meat into Selena's bowl. Eat. Don't let the baby starve. I stood aside like air, invisible. He didn't even invite me to sit. A wry smile tugged at my lips. In my past life, I'd been pathetically in love with this man, treated like a servant, and still died for him. Never again. My gaze fell on Selena as she shoved a large piece of meat into her mouth. A moment later, she spat it out. Salty, too salty. I had emptied an entire bag of salt into the food. It wouldn't kill them, but it would make them suffer. She scrambled to drink soup, only to find it just as salty. She gagged and ran to rinse her mouth. Leonardo dipped a bit of broth with his chopsticks, tasting it. His face twisted. Eva, you never change, do you? I spread my hands innocently. What? I cooked for you, and you're still not satisfied? From now on, cook for yourselves. Leaving those words behind, I went upstairs. Downstairs was chaos, Selena crying, Leonardo consoling. In my past life, those sounds tore me apart. Now, I ignored them. Half an hour later, Leonardo barged into my room, face dark. Eva, apologize to Selena, now. And if I don't? I met his eyes. Then we divorce. I mean it. Fine. Let's divorce. I smiled. Let's file the paperwork right now. Chapter 5. My ready agreement to divorce left Leonardo staring at me as if I'd grown 2 heads. I simply glanced at him, then pulled out the divorce report I had already prepared and signed. Handing it to him, I said, Here. I've signed. Now it's your turn. He snatched it, skimmed it, then sneered. Eva, I warn you, once I sign, you won't be able to handle the consequences. Don't play games of push and pull with me. What consequences? It's just divorce. Both of us can live without the other. If you're truly a man, then sign. His veins bulged, but he didn't sign. Instead, he glared murderously. Eva, don't regret this. I'll never regret it. I pushed the pen toward him. He clenched his jaw, refusing to take it. My eyes filled with mockery. What's wrong, Leonardo? Can't bear to leave me? His face twisted in rage. He yanked me forward, growling, my patience has limits. Apologize, and I'll let go of everything. Otherwise. Otherwise what? Lock me up again? What reason will you use this time? That I put too much salt in dinner? I laughed coldly. That excuse won't work anymore. He shook with fury. He'd never seen me this defiant. And this time, I hadn't done anything wrong, he had no excuse to punish me. Clutching my wrist, he hissed, you're wrong but still refused to admit it. I've said it 1,000 times. I never laid a hand on Selena. Then why did she fall? Who else could it be but you? I shook off his grip. Enough. Sign the papers. His eyes narrowed dangerously. Don't think I don't dare sign. I don't think that. I just want out of this life. Let's let each other go. My gaze stayed cold and firm. For a moment, hurt flickered in his eyes. I looked at him, the man I once loved enough to die for. There was no love left, only disgust. He opened his mouth, but before he could speak, Selena's scream rang from outside. He threw the papers at me and ran. I followed to see Selena, clutching her stomach against him. Leonardo, my belly hurts. The same tired trick. Leonardo panicked, hovering over her, then snapped at me. Why are you standing there? Help us. Expressionless, I held out the divorce papers and pen. Sign first. He stared in disbelief, then shoved my hand away, carrying Selena out the door. At the threshold, I caught the disappointment in Selena's eyes. She hadn't expected that while she staged her act, we had been discussing divorce inside. Too bad, for once, her scheme had backfired. Still, I was left unsatisfied, because Leonardo hadn't signed. Chapter 6. That night, neither Leonardo nor Selena came back. I lay on the bed fully clothed, thinking about my departure until sleep slowly claimed me. For once, my dreams were empty. The next morning, I was surprised to see Leonardo had returned. He handed me a red bean bun, smiling gently, something I hadn't seen in a long time. His voice was soft, red bean bun. Eat it while it's hot. I loved red bean buns. In the past, Leonardo often bought them for me. But ever since Selena came, he'd never done it again. I didn't take it. Instead, I fetched the unsigned divorce papers from last night. Sign it. Once you sign, we can finalize the procedure. Leonardo stared at me in disbelief. Eva, I've already compromised, and you're still not satisfied? Don't push your luck. Expressionless, I met his gaze. As a cadre, you should set an example. You were the one who brought up divorce, so be decisive. Don't make me look down on you. Knowing his pride, I thought provoking him would work. But I was wrong. Leonardo snatched the papers and ripped them to shreds. Breathing heavily, eyes bloodshot, he glared at me and stormed out. I chased to the door, but his long strides carried him quickly into the car and away. I didn't understand. He no longer loved me. His heart was full of Selena. Why refuse divorce? Then I remembered Selena's words from my previous life. Leonardo needed me as a shield, a cover for his relationship with her. So that was it. He wouldn't divorce me because I was his camouflage. In the days that followed, Leonardo didn't come back. I heard he was away on assignment. With him gone, Selena didn't appear either. The peace was welcome. I worked and busied myself with clearing the house. If I was leaving, everything between us had to be cut clean. I shredded our photos. I gave away the sweaters and shoes I had made for him. Half my clothes, quilts, and linens went to neighbors. Within days, the house was stripped of our shared traces. Still, Leonardo hadn't returned. I looked at the calendar, anxious. The date of my departure to the Northwest was approaching. Divorce wasn't necessary to leave, but I didn't want any ties left with Leonardo. Ending things meant ending completely. Just as I was thinking this, a call came from the military hospital. Leonardo was injured. They were summoning me, as his spouse, to care for him. Chapter 7. When I received the call, I felt no panic, no worry. After all, in my past life, even when I died, Leonardo went on living just fine. This time would be no different. Even if something happened to him, what did it have to do with me? My leaders gave me leave to care for him. But instead of going to the hospital, I searched for Selina's whereabouts. I finally learned she was living in Leonardo's military dormitory. Hidden well, indeed. He must have arranged it so I wouldn't trouble her. Since he couldn't bear to part with Selina, I would gladly step aside. Let her take care of him. Perfect for them both. I went to the dorm, told her about Leonardo's injury, and asked her to go to the hospital. With that, I went home without a shred of guilt. That night, I cooked myself a hearty meal and ate 3 bowls. Over the next days, I busied myself preparing supplies for the harsh conditions of the Northwest. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Leonardo lay unconscious for 3 days and nights. Selina sat by his bed, carefully wiping his face with a damp towel, staring at his features as if bewitched. She had lost her parents at 8, and was adopted by Leonardo's family. From the first moment she saw him, she liked him. Leonardo's looks drew girls naturally, but Selina's obsession was extreme. She clung to him, dreamed of marrying him. When her adoptive parents noticed, they hurriedly married her off. That marriage was misery. She longed every day to return to Leonardo's side. When her husband died, she finally had her chance. Leonardo treated her well, indulged her. But it wasn't enough, she wanted more. She wanted to be his only woman. Her jealousy of me, his wife, burned like fire. Now, as she watched him unconscious, she gazed greedily at the man she had loved for so many years. The most intimate she had ever been with him was holding hands or leaning into his arms with some excuse. But she wanted more. Now was her chance. She bent closer, lips trembling, about to kiss his face. Only to be slapped hard across the cheek. Chapter 8. The slap stunned Selina out of her haze of desire. Her face burned with pain, but more than pain, it was fear. Her secret feelings for Leonardo had finally been exposed. He had seen them. What should she do now? How could she explain? Panicked, she looked toward the bed, but before she could see clearly, another harsh slap landed on her cheek. This one was even heavier. Selina was knocked straight to the floor. Covering her face, she felt shame, anger, and terror surge all at once. Her ugly, selfish thoughts had been laid bare. The humiliation cut deeper than the pain, and she didn't dare meet Leonardo's eyes. She waited for him to pass judgment, yet nothing came. Instead, a hoarse murmur drifted to her ears, Eva. Eva. On the bed, Leonardo was calling Eva's name. Selina scrambled up, only to realize he was still unconscious. His eyes remained closed, his hands flailing wildly. His lips moved in restless whispers, Eva, don't go, the baby. So the slaps she'd received weren't deliberate, they were just Leonardo's unconscious movements. Her heart, knotted with dread, slowly eased. But when she saw his forehead drenched in sweat, his mouth still calling Eva's name, rage twisted inside her. She glared at him with pure hatred. At that moment, the door swung open. Leonardo's aide stepped in. Seeing his commander's condition, the aide quickly pressed the alarm for the doctors. Soon, doctors rushed in, examined him, and at last Leonardo's eyes opened. The very first words out of his mouth were, Eva, Eva. The doctor leaned close, Commander, you're awake. You've been unconscious for days. You need rest. Please, don't get agitated. Where's Eva? Where is she? Leonardo's gaze searched the room desperately. The aide answered, Madam is at home. At home? Are you certain? She's safe? Yes, sir. She's fine. Don't worry. Leonardo exhaled, clutching his chest, trying to calm the fear and panic tearing through him. Call Eva. Tell her to come here immediately. He needed to see her with his own eyes, alive and well. Only then could he rest easy. Because the dream he had just endured was too terrifying. He had dreamt of Eva, pregnant, hurling herself from a rooftop. He saw her body shattered beyond recognition. It was so vivid, so horrific, it made even a battle-hardened man like him tremble. Meanwhile, when the aide came to find me, I was in the kitchen humming a tune while cooking. He shoved the door open, scowling. The commander is awake. He wants you at the hospital. Now. I turned and looked at him calmly. What for? You. These past days he's been unconscious, and you never went once. How can you be so cruel? I arched a brow. I'm not a doctor. What use would I be? Isn't someone already watching over him? But the commander asked for you by name. No time. I haven't even eaten yet. The aide's face turned crimson with fury. He stormed out, sputtering with rage. And I thought, what's he going to do? Lock me in solitary again just because I won't visit Leonardo? Ha! Chapter 9. At the hospital, Leonardo waited anxiously for hours. Finally, his aide returned, but alone. Where's Eva? She refused to come. Said she had to cook dinner. Leonardo froze. Impossible. Did you explain properly? I did. From the moment you were injured, I informed her. I even got her work leave approved. But Madam has not once set foot in this hospital. The aide looked wounded on his commander's behalf. How could a wife be so heartless? Leonardo whispered, almost to himself, how could this be? Eva, she used to love me so much. Even if I got a scratch, she would cry half the day. Why would she ignore me now? What went wrong? The aide, still fuming, added, she's just mad about being confined. She made mistakes and still dares to throw a tantrum. Unreasonable woman. Leonardo stiffened. He had nearly forgotten that he had locked Eva in solitary, forcing her to write an apology. The aide's words struck him. He remembered his dream too, how he'd threatened her with divorce. In that dream, Eva refused to yield, until she finally apologized to Selena. But in reality, he recalled her cold face before he left for his mission, handing him divorce papers, no trace of love in her eyes. He'd panicked, torn them apart, and stormed out. The memory left him deeply unsettled. Eva. Divorce. How could she want that? How could she bear to leave him? He sank back against the pillows, brows furrowed in torment. Just then, a sugary voice interrupted, Leonardo, are you thirsty? Let me get you some water. Turning his head, he saw Selena, holding a cup. Her face was grotesquely swollen, clearly marked from slaps. Leonardo started in shock. What happened to your face? Chapter 10. Selena touched her swollen face, tears of grievance spilling down. It was sister-in-law who hit me. What? Leonardo's voice rose. Why would she hit you? She said you and I weren't clean. I tried to explain, but she wouldn't believe me, and then she just... Leonardo stared at her face without moving, his gaze unsettling her. Why was he looking at her like that? Did he not believe her? His first reaction when he saw her injuries had been anger. How could Eva raise her hand against anyone, let alone a pregnant woman? That was outrageous. But as the fury burned, the dream returned to him. The dream where Eva was accused again and again, where she denied desperately and he never believed her. The dream where Eva cried, where she was crushed by despair. He remembered her furious demand. What exactly is going on between you and Selena, Leonardo? Do you want me, or her? He remembered her gripping his hand, over and over, pleading, I didn't push her. She framed me. I really didn't. He remembered her pale, hopeless face, lying in bed, tears running down her cheeks. My baby. My child. Murderers. You're all murderers. And finally, the image of her broken body lying motionless on the ground, blood soaking her clothes, pieces of flesh scattered around. Leonardo clutched his chest, pain spreading through every vein, every cell. He knew it had only been a dream, but it was too real, too terrifying. He could not, would not, lose Eva. Selena had no idea what was going through his mind. Her tears flowed harder. Leonardo, sister-in-law doesn't like me. I'd better not bother you two anymore. Once you recover, I'll just move out. This had always been her trump card. Every time she said this, Leonardo would soften, turn against Eva, and defend her. So she waited. But after a long silence, Leonardo finally spoke. Moving out would be best. I'll ask the aide to find you a place. From now on, if you need anything, go to him. Don't come to me again. I don't want Eva upset. Selena froze, completely stunned. Chapter 11. After finishing my meal, I was preparing to go shopping again. Before I could leave, Selena showed up at my door. She looked haggard, nothing like in my previous life when she was pampered, glowing, and plump. Of course, it must be from worrying over Leonardo. But what happened to her face? Both cheeks were swollen like steamed buns. I chuckled inwardly. Who would dare hit Selena? She was Leonardo's precious jewel. Anyone who dared to touch her would have been locked up and punished. Selena glared at me with venom. Eva, are you satisfied now? I frowned. Speak clearly. Don't play coy with me. They say a barking dog doesn't bite, but you sure had claws hidden. You actually played a trick to force Leonardo into making me move out. I underestimated you. Her words shocked me. What do you mean? Leonardo told you to move out? Impossible. In my past life, no matter how much I cried, screamed, or begged, he never let her leave. Why would he now, without me lifting a finger? Selena was shameless, but her words couldn't be trusted. I gave her a cold look. So you came here just to say that? What else? You vile woman. I'm telling you, I won't move out easily. Leonardo is mine. No one will take him away from me. I felt sick. Relax. Nobody wants to take your Leonardo. You can have him, I don't care. Liar. Playing hard to get, she spat, eyes blazing. Clearly, she was furious. The trick that had always worked on Leonardo had failed this time. She couldn't understand why. Why was everything different just because Leonardo had been injured once? She couldn't figure it out, so she pinned it on me. Eva must have softened him with that divorce application, she thought. You think he really can't let go of you? Wrong. He just doesn't want trouble now that he's about to be promoted. I watched her rant, baffled. What on earth had rattled her this much? I had already backed down, and let them have each other. Why was she still acting like I owed her something? I knew exactly what she wanted, to climb up to replace me. And with her scheming nature, maybe she could actually help me get the divorce I wanted. I shrugged. So what? Do you really want to live your whole life as someone who can never be acknowledged? Have some ambition, at least. Looking at her twisted expression, I smirked. How about this? I'll step aside, divorce Leonardo, and let you have him. In return, you find a way to make him sign the divorce papers. Selena stared, stunned. You're serious? This isn't some trick? Of course. She left with the papers in hand. And I knew, with her talent for manipulation, Leonardo's signature would come soon enough. All I had to do now was wait. Chapter 12. Selena hadn't been gone long, before Leonardo's aide appeared again. His face was grim. The organization orders you to go to the hospital and take care of the commander. This is an order. From his stance, it was clear that if I refused, he might use force. A wise person doesn't fight a losing battle. I reluctantly followed him to the hospital. Leonardo was hooked up to N4. The moment he saw me enter, he reached out to grab my hand. I smoothly avoided it and with polite detachment asked, "How are you feeling? Any pain anywhere?" At my formal tone, his faint smile faded. He fixed his eyes on me, staring without blinking. I stood a full meter away, quietly meeting his gaze. After a long silence, Leonardo signaled for the aide to leave. When the door shut, he finally spoke slowly. I've already ordered my aide to find another place for Selena. She'll be moving out. I gave a flat O. Seeing my indifference, he grew restless. About what happened last time with Selena. I cut him off. Apologize? Never. Leonardo, you already locked me in confinement for 7 days. What more do you want? I'm warning you, push a rabbit too far, and it'll bite. No, that's not what I mean. I just want to know, what really happened? Why did you push her? I laughed coldly. He had never believed me before. I explained 100 times, he dismissed every word. And now, after locking me up for a week, he had the nerve to bring it up again. Tiresome. How would I know why I supposedly pushed her? Ask Selena. Whatever she says must be the truth, right? I've already been punished by you for 7 days. What next? Prison? Do you think there's no law, no justice left in this world? His expression shifted, complicated, almost wounded. Eva, I'm an injured man now. Are you really going to treat me like this? I looked at him coldly. Sorry for upsetting you. To avoid affecting your recovery, I think I should just leave. and I turned without hesitation. Behind me, Leonardo's coughing fit broke the silence. His aide rushed in, alarmed. Seeing him bent over coughing, he hurriedly poured water, murmuring reproach. "Madam, how could you upset him like this? Don't you care at all?" Leonardo clutched his chest, feeling strangely hollow. Eva's attitude made him realize something had gone terribly wrong between them. He thought back carefully. When had they become so estranged? Before Selena came, he and Eva had been close, loving. Everything had changed after Selena moved in. Eva was constantly upset, clashing with Selena. But wasn't it natural for him to care for a homeless pregnant woman? Why couldn't Eva understand? But then, no. Eva had always been gentle and kind, well regarded in the compound, never quarrelsome. Why was Selena the only exception? Could it be that the problem was Selena? His thoughts slipped back to the horrifying dream, so real and bloody. Leonardo gave a new order. Put a stop to finding Selena an apartment nearby. Instead, arrange a home for her at her registered residence. The aide froze. "Sir, that's more than 1,000 kilometers away. How will you look after her then? She's an adult. Others manage with children and work, why can't she? Besides, she's young. She'll have to marry eventually. Keeping her by my side forever isn't right." At that very moment, Selena reached the ward door and overheard everything. Her steps faltered. Chapter 13. Selena didn't go in. She spun on her heel and fled. In a deserted corner, she stopped, face twisted with rage. Leonardo telling her to move out was already unbearable. Now he planned to send her back to her registered residence. She had schemed so hard just to cling to him. Was it all about to collapse? No. She would not be sent away. And since he had already given the order, his resolve was clear. She had to act fast. She paced back and forth, panicking. What to do? Her fingers clenched around the divorce papers Eva had given her, crumpled now from her grip. She forced herself calm, smoothed them out, and reread them. Soon, an idea came to her, sharp, ruthless, perfect. If you're not ruthless, you won't survive. She would do it. Hours later, Selena entered Leonardo's hospital room. She stood pitifully by his bed. "Leonardo, I need to talk to you." He grunted, his tone colder than before. Selena noticed, and hatred bubbled inside her. She didn't know what tricks Eva had used, but somehow Leonardo had changed. No matter. She had her countermeasure now. This time, Eva was doomed. She lowered her eyes, speaking weakly. "Leonardo, I've decided to go back." "Back?" His eyes widened. "Back where?" "To my registered residence. I don't want to trouble you anymore. You have your own family. It's better if I return." Leonardo was surprised. He had just been worrying how to break the news to her, and now she was saying it herself. Relieved, he smiled. "That's good. Tell me what you need. I'll arrange it." His obvious relief made her hatred burn hotter. Suppressing it, she pulled out a contract. "Leonardo, I want to buy a house back home. But I need a guarantor. Will you sign for me?" Without hesitation, Leonardo agreed. "No problem." She spread the document open, pointing where he should sign and stamp. Leonardo skimmed the first page, then signed. Selena tucked it away, smiling sweetly. "Then I won't disturb your recovery. I'll go prepare now. In a few days, I'll leave." Leonardo, feeling guilty, said softly, "No rush. Take your time packing. If you need anything, tell me." Selena left obediently. But the moment she stepped outside, her face darkened with malice. Send her away? Impossible. The real show was about to begin. Chapter 14. I never expected Selena to move so quickly. In just a few hours, she had Leonardo's signed divorce report in hand. Taking it, I immediately delivered it to the military district leadership for approval. The leader was surprised to see divorce papers from Leonardo and me, and pressed me for the reason. I told him plainly, we are incompatible. Leonardo's punishment of me, 7 days in confinement, was already common knowledge. The leader sighed, then signed the approval. Holding the stamped divorce papers, I felt overjoyed as I walked out of the compound, only to run into Leonardo's aide. He scowled but forced himself to greet me reluctantly. I was in such a good mood that I didn't bother with him. Smiling, I brushed past, ready to leave. But he called after me. The commander wants to eat your fish soup. No time. You. How can you be like this? He bristled, eyebrows standing straight up in anger. Eva, don't you think you're going too far? What kind of wife behaves like this? What I do is none of your business. If your commander wants fish soup, tell him to ask Selena. She'll be delighted. You're impossible. Unreasonable. The aide was shaking with fury. The commander has already compromised. He's sending Selena back to her registered residence. And still you fight with him? Don't you know he's been talking about you constantly these past few days? Just because of your petty jealousy, you've been cold to him. Eva, you're unbelievable. His words startled me. Leonardo was really planning to send Selena away? Impossible. Selena, she's really willing to leave? She already agreed. She'll be gone in a few days. Isn't that enough for you? Now hurry back and cook the fish soup for the hospital. The commander is waiting. But I couldn't believe Selena would give up so easily. In my past life, she schemed tirelessly against me, driving wedges between Leonardo and me, feeding his suspicion, destroying my spirit, killing my child, and pushing me to suicide. Her obsession with Leonardo was so blatant. How could she ever retreat? No, my instincts screamed she had another plan. With only a few days left before my departure west, I had to stay alert. I avoided her completely, refusing any contact. But on the eve of my leaving, Selena came knocking at my door. Chapter 15. She banged on the door so hard it rattled. I stayed silent, refusing to answer. I had locked the courtyard gate. She raged until 2 in the morning, finally giving up and leaving. The next morning, I looked out from upstairs, and there she was again, swollen belly and all. Day and night, camping out at my door. No good intentions there. I had planned to leave everything behind, to walk away. But seeing her like this, clearly unwilling to let things end peacefully, why should I keep retreating? In my past life, I hadn't avenged my child's death or my own fall. This time, I wouldn't let it go. I sneered, went downstairs, and placed a steel bar by the staircase deliberately. If Selena came with no malice, fine. But if she tried to frame me again, this time, it would be her end. Satisfied, I slowly unlatched the door. Selena barged in immediately, slamming it behind her. Her eyes burned with hatred. Eva, did you think locking the door would keep me from cornering you? I stepped back warily. What do you want? Another setup? A feral grin twisted her lips. And why not? Selena, don't go too far. I've already divorced Leonardo. I've given you two what you wanted. Why are you still scheming against me? Her eyes were full of venom. You two-faced bitch. Divorce? Giving us your blessing? That was just your excuse. Your real plan was to retreat in order to advance, to trick Leonardo into sending me away, wasn't it? I'm not lying. I really did mean to let you two be together. Liar. If you wanted that, why push him to send me back? You knew I love Leonardo, knew I could never be separated from him, yet you stooped this low to tear us apart. Eva, you're finished. I won't let you go. I raised my voice. What are you planning? I warn you, Selena, don't try anything. Last time you framed me, saying I pushed you, Leonardo locked me in confinement. What now? Now I'll send you straight to hell. You brought this on yourself. If you'd stayed out of my way, I could have let you live. But you dared to fight back. You want death, I'll grant it. With a scream, she lunged at me, wild and reckless. My heart jolted. I spun and ran upstairs. She missed the first strike but didn't stop. Belly and all, she charged after me up the steps. I reached the landing, glaring down at her. My voice shook with feigned fear. Don't come closer. Stay away, Selena. Don't try to frame me again. Please, I'm begging you. It's too late to beg. Die, Eva. Her crazed grin stretched as she reached for me, fingers brushing my clothes. That was when I kicked. Hard. Right at her belly. Her smile froze. Shock spread across her face as her body pitched backward. She rolled down the stairs, eyes wide with disbelief, locked on me. And I, smiling faintly, watching coldly from above, cried out in false panic. Help. Somebody help. Selena fell down the stairs. She hit the bottom with a sickening thud. Her scream tore the air as she clutched her stomach. Her horrified eyes met mine. My lips curled into a silent whisper, "Go to hell." She lowered her gaze, saw the steel bar piercing through her belly. And only then did the final scream burst out of her. Chapter 16. Blood gushed from Selena's belly, spraying everywhere. Her face twisted in agony, her hands clawing helplessly at the air, only to grasp nothing before falling limply to her sides. I continued to cry out in feigned panic. "Help! Someone, help! Something's happened." Selena was rushed to the hospital. But the steel bar downstairs had pierced straight through her pregnant belly. The child could not be saved. And worse, due to massive blood loss, Selena's uterus had to be removed. After hours of surgery, she finally pulled back from death's door. The very first thing she did after regaining consciousness was accuse me, claiming I had pushed her and killed her unborn child. The consequences were dire. After all, I had already been accused of pushing her once before, which had landed me in confinement. Everyone immediately believed it was me again. Leonardo ordered his aide to bring me in first. I faced Leonardo calmly. He looked furious, and the moment he saw me, he demanded, "Eva, why did you do such a thing?" 2 lifetimes, and still, when it came to Selena, Leonardo had never once believed me. But I wasn't angry anymore. I simply asked him coldly, "So you've already convicted me? What next? Force me to confess? Lock me up again? Leonardo, who do you think you are? Do you own the courts now?" My attitude enraged him further. "What kind of tone is that? I can't even question you?" "No, you can't. You've lost the right. Do you even know? I was planning to send her away. She had agreed to leave. And yet you did this, Eva, you've disappointed me too much." Leonardo truly believed I'd pushed Selena. He even tried to coax a confession out of me. "Eva, this isn't some minor thing. A life has been lost. This is intentional harm, not something confinement can fix. You'd better tell me the truth, so we can figure out a solution." If I believed him, I'd be signing my own death warrant. I sneered. She fell on her own. It has nothing to do with me. I don't need your so-called solutions. Leonardo, I know what you're trying to do, stand up for Selena. She lost her child, and now she'll never bear another. She's so pitiful, of course you need a scapegoat to appease her. And I'm the sacrificial lamb, right? Leonardo's expression turned grim. Faced with my bitter mockery, he didn't lash out, he swallowed his anger and forced his voice lower. "It's not what you think. Just tell me the truth. Did you really push Selena?" I smiled eerily. "You guess. I want to hear it from your own mouth." "Fine then. Pretend I did." Leonardo froze. "What? You really pushed her? Eva, why? Why? I'd like to know that myself." I spread my hands. "Selena always says I bully her, that I want to harm her. And I've asked myself, why would I single her out? Why her? I could never figure it out, until she told me herself." "Want to hear?" Leonardo said nothing, just stared. I laughed. "She told me the truth, she loves you. And you love her. I was just the cover-up, the convenient smokescreen." Chapter 17. Ridiculous. Leonardo roared, his voice breaking with fury. Even now, he still wanted to pretend. That was exactly how I'd been fooled in my past life, until death finally woke me. I sneered. "Ridiculous? I don't think so. As far as I know, there's no blood relation between you and Selena, right? So tell me, why treat her with such devotion? Why show her more concern than for your own wife? It doesn't take much imagination to see why." Leonardo's face shifted, twisted, but he had no rebuttal. I ignored his expression and pressed on. "You always take Selena's word as truth. And no matter how I explained myself, you never believed me. Did you ever wonder why? Maybe because deep down, you know your relationship with her isn't proper. You're guilty. Afraid I'd find out. Afraid I'd make a scene. So you silenced me first." The veins on his forehead throbbed. "That's not true. Still denying it? No need. I know you'll want revenge for Selena's tragedy. You'll want to punish me. Well, I'm waiting. Leonardo, yes, I pushed her. I'm the one responsible for her lost child, her ruined womb. I admit it. So come, arrest me. I leaned close, smiling coldly, and whispered the words into his ear, slow and deliberate. Leonardo trembled with rage, his breath harsh. I knew he pitted Selena to his very core. But who had pitted my child? Who had pitted me, the innocent woman who died miserably in my last life? I watched his stormy face. Just as he lifted his hand to grab me, I stepped quickly out of reach. And lightly added, "If you're capable, then come, catch me." With that, I turned and strode out. Behind me, something crashed to the ground with a violent bang. Leonardo, no doubt smashing something in blind fury. But it no longer had anything to do with me. As I passed by Selena's ward, I saw her propped up against the bed, agitated and flailing her arms. Several policemen stood around her, one taking notes. Selena shrieked hysterically. "The murderer! Eva, she's right there at the door. Why haven't you arrested her yet? Why are you letting her go free? Eva pushed me, there's proof. Arrest her now, don't let her escape." The police turned their eyes toward me. I met their gaze with a faint smile, then calmly stepped into the ward. Selena's rage boiled over. If not for her recent surgery, I was certain she'd have leapt at me. I stood in the middle of the room and said evenly, "Selena, accusations require evidence. You say I pushed you, where's your witness?" "I'm the witness. If you can claim that, then I can also say I didn't push you, that you framed me instead." "Why would I frame you? Why would I sacrifice my own child to trap you? I wouldn't know your true motive. But you've slandered me more than once. The question is, was it worth it, Selena? Using the loss of your child, even the loss of your womb, just to smear me." Her eyes widened in shock. What did you just say?" Chapter 18. I wore a look of sympathy, but my words cut like a knife. "You brought this upon yourself, Selena. Not only did you kill your own child, but you ruined yourself. You're no longer even a complete woman." "No, impossible. That's not true." Selena shook her head in disbelief. "You must be lying. Arrest Eva." "Why won't you arrest her? She pushed me, she killed my child, she's a murderer. She has to pay for my baby's life." The police remained silent. I sighed softly. "Even now, you still don't see it. You accusing me is just empty talk. But Selena, I have witnesses who can testify that you tried to frame me. What you didn't know was that I wasn't alone in the house that night." Her voice cracked. What do you mean?" "I was afraid to live alone, so I invited colleagues over. Not one, but two. They both heard you threatening me, bragging about setting me up. So your scheme is exposed." Selena's eyes went wide in shock. The police shook their heads and sighed. "So, it was false accusation. You should know, Selena, false charges can also put you in prison." No, that's impossible. I wasn't. You lifted the stone only to crush your own foot. You've brought this disaster upon yourself." I finished her words for her. Selena's eyes rolled back and she fainted. I didn't bother with her anymore. I had witnesses to prove my innocence, and it was clear Selena had tried to frame me. Besides, why would someone like me, who had already applied to join the construction mission in the Northwest, bother to harm her? I had already divorced Leonardo, cut ties cleanly. I had no motive, no reason. The next day, I boarded the train heading west. As the train rolled out of the station, I gazed out the window at the shifting scenery, at the brilliant sunshine, and for the first time in years, I smiled with genuine peace. 2 days later, Leonardo finally learned that I had left. He rushed to my workplace, only to be told by my superiors that I had long since submitted the application for the Northwest assignment. After all, to me he was just an ex-husband now. What right did he have to know anything about me? Leonardo, still oblivious to the divorce, demanded answers. My superior showed him the official divorce documents, complete with his own signature. Leonardo froze. He knew he had never signed them. So how? Then it struck him. Those papers he had signed for Selena at the hospital. Could it be? Fury overtook him. He stormed to the hospital to confront Selena. Selena admitted it. She told him the divorce was my idea, and she had merely gone along. She clung to him desperately. Now I only have you, Leonardo. Eva's gone, so let's be together. But Leonardo shoved her away in disgust. Are you insane? Yes, I'm insane. I became like this because of you. You have to take responsibility. Selena finally revealed her true face. She demanded that Leonardo marry her, or she would go to the military district and report him for misconduct. Leonardo was stunned. He had never expected this. At last, he saw Selena's true nature. At last, he realized the truth, how she had deceived him, how he had wronged me. But now, Leonardo was trapped. Between his career and this woman he utterly despised. Under Selena's threats, Leonardo confessed everything to his superiors. They valued his talent and wanted to cover it up. But Selena had lost her mind. She couldn't accept losing everything. She screamed, spread rumors, dragged their scandal into the open. In the end, Leonardo was expelled from the army and sent home in disgrace. The next time I heard news of Leonardo and Selena was 3 years later, after I had already settled in the Northwest. Someone who knew us both had also been stationed there. They told me, they're both dead. I was stunned. What happened? After Leonardo was sent home, Selena followed him and kept causing scenes. He couldn't take it anymore. He strangled her. Then, he took his own life. The ending was one I hadn't anticipated. No grief, no gloating. Just nothing. They were people I had already let go of. Not worth even a flicker of thought.